Good morning. Happy Wednesday, the 3rd of December. I hope you're doing super well. I am just picking up the camera quickly. I have to leave the house in about 15 minutes. I'm heading to Kensington area to meet a client for an in-person session. So I'm going to do a little bit of work there beforehand at I think it's like a hotel kind of co-working cafe spot. So I will report back if it is good. But it's blue sky day and yeah, I'm looking forward to an in-person session. I've met this client a number of times before, but it'll be really nice to have a session in person together. So I'm going to do that and probably grab like a matcha or a coffee and probably some breakfast there as well. I'm going to hopefully make a smoothie imminently and take that with me as like a sort of on the go bit of fuel before I get there. But I just thought we could spend a couple of days together. I've got a few bits on. I think I'm going to go for a nice walk in Richmond Park later. I've got to go to the dentist. I've got a client call this afternoon as well, a couple of client calls tomorrow. No plans this evening. I was out last night seeing a dear friend who was actually a friend that we met when we lived in Cape Town, her and her husband, but she is over in London for work. They were living in London for 2 years. And anyway, they moved back about 6 months ago, but she's over for work. So it was super nice to see her. Went to a Lebanese restaurant by South Bank. And then tomorrow we are out with friends as well. So tonight I'm just chilling. My husband is out. So it's one of those ideal kind of eat what you want, watch what you want, get super cozy, watch a little bit of trashy TV. So that is my plan for this evening. But I'll just take you along, show you what I get up to, and yeah, come and spend a few days with me. Got the smoothie ready to mix. So I typically alternate between a chocolatey, banana-y, nutty one with protein powder or like a berry vanilla protein powder one. So I've gone with chocolate, which is cinnamon, chocolate protein powder, banana, a little bit of oats, chia seeds, flax seeds, bit of peanut butter, water, and I might top it up with some almond milk. And then my berry one is frozen berries, vanilla protein powder, and then all of the above. So chia, flax, cinnamon, no peanut butter, and it's delicious. Okay, so I am installed and sitting in the co-working, well, I say co-working, it's actually a hotel, and this is kind of a room off the lobby area. I'm speaking quite quietly because there's people around me like having breakfast and working on their laptop, but I'm loving the vibe. There's lots of like velvet sofas and tall plants and different coloured tiles, and yeah, it's quite like dark and vibey, but I'm loving the vibe. There's a little coffee shop in the lobby, and then there's a restaurant as part of the rest of the hotel. But I just got myself a pot of English breakfast tea. They give you like a 2-hour Wi-Fi voucher, so I'm hoping that after the 2 hours I can get another one, because my client is coming in about 45 minutes, and then we've got an hour session together, and then I'm hoping to do another hour or so before I head home. So we will see, but because we're buying things, I'm hoping that they'll give us one, but anyway, we'll see. And yeah, now I'm just going to catch up on some client messages, wait for my client to arrive, and then I will keep you posted. But there's not too much to show right now. As I say, it's quite quiet in here, so can't talk too loudly, but you'll have seen the vibe of the place in the little clips before, and I'll show you where I'm sitting right now. Okay, I am back. I wasn't able to film loads when I was out because obviously I was A, in a quiet space, which I showed you, B, I was then with a client, but it was really cool vibes, great decor. There was a bit of a strange man in there who was apparently a resident at the hotel who was clearly carrying on from his night before, with a beer bottle in hand and looking just a little bit worse for wear, but quite hectic. So that kind of was a bit of a strange vibe, but we moved tables, so we were not near him. And then I came back. It's blue skies, it is a gorgeous day. I've decided I'm gonna go for a walk, probably in Richmond Park, later on this afternoon before it gets dark. But I've just come back, made myself some lunch, which I thought I would show you. It was very much a what's in the fridge, what can I use? It's gonna be kind of quick, healthy and easy. So I've made, let me see if I can show you. Piece of toast, nice sourdough toast with avocado underneath. And then salad, chicken, tomatoes. And I've got some taramasalata on the side. Let me know, are you a taramasalata lover or hater? I feel like it's a real crowd divider. I love it. I don't have it that much, but it's delicious. So I'm gonna have my lunch now. It is 5 to 1. And then I've got to go to the dentist at 2:30. Got to do a bit of client work in between then, get a piece of content out on both my main profile at Nicola Charlotte Coaching and my new profile by Nicola Bethwaite, which is my new Instagram profile on all things pregnancy, motherhood, using my skill set as a mindset coach and bringing that over to a page that's like a passion project purely at this stage, but just to share like tips, tricks, tools, thoughts, have conversations. It's very relaxed. But if you are pregnant or think you'll be in the future, or you are a new mum, then that is a page for you, whereby it's a community at the moment. So I've got a post going out there and a post going on my coaching profile and a few bits and bobs, but otherwise it's quite a nice balance of a day. I've only had that one client meeting. I've got a couple more calls tomorrow, which is so nice to then be able to maximize the weather and go outside. I actually recorded a podcast episode for a podcast called Found Hers, a play on words on founders, and that came out today. The host sent me the episode link, so I will send it to you. Let me, I said I'll send it to you. I will link it down below so that you can have a look. But this is what it is called if you are interested in having a look. So yeah, it's this one, Found Hers, and the title is Consistency Isn't a Strategy, Rethinking Success with Mindset Coach Nicola Charlotte. So it's a bit about my journey into how I got into coaching, where I was working in corporate before, what that transition looked like, some of my lessons along the way in terms of definitions of success, resilience, consistency, and now also kind of how I work with clients and debunking some of those myths. One of them being, I don't believe consistency is a strategy. So that is what I talk about in that podcast episode, but I will link it below so you can have a listen. And if you have any questions when you're listening, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or pop them in the comments below and I will get back to you. So if you're kind of a business owner, aspiring business owner, have a passion project that you might want to turn into a full-time business, that is very much for you. But generally, if you're just interested in kind of mindset, personal development, getting a bit more of an insight into my coaching business, then I think you will enjoy it. So yeah, I'm now going to tuck into my lunch and have a 20 minutes of just like catching my breath, maybe pop on a YouTube video, and then I will catch up with you later. Good evening. It is not even that late. It's 5:45. My hair's a little bit crazy. I've had a bath. I've been on a walk. I have wrapped up for the day with my clients. And I've just sat down to do a little bit more painting for Christmas cards. So I've actually done a few already. Here's one, which I just think looks fab actually. See if it will focus. And then here's another one with like a Christmas wreath. And I've done a Frosty the Snowman design as well. And I figured I've just written a couple because we're seeing some friends tomorrow evening, but I've only got 2 or 3 blank ones that have yet to be sent or filled in. And I feel like I want to do a bit of a backlog so that as and when we need to send them out or we're seeing friends, then we've got a few to give. So I just go on Pinterest and look at like Christmas cards, watercolor, and then save some down that I like, and then kind of just like do my own version of it. I've got my little setup here. So I've got my watercolors, my sheets. So I just rip one of these pages off, fold it in half. I bought a bunch of envelopes, and I've got my little water thing here. Got my Mormon wives on there. So it really is quite a delightful evening activity, because I thought probably going to watch something later. I don't want to just sit on the sofa. So I'm going to do maybe 4 more cards. That's what I'll aim to do. And then I will probably cook some supper. I'm going to do a baked potato this evening, just because it's easy, healthy, quick, with some like baked beans and salad. So I'll probably catch up with you tomorrow, because yeah, there's not going to be much else that I can show you this evening. But I will leave the watercolor set link below, because quite a few people have asked. I shared a little picture on my Instagram the other day. And it's just such a nice activity, like birthday cards. It's my sister's birthday on Monday, so I actually need to paint her a card. But yeah, I'm gonna do Christmas cards for now. Watch some YouTube or something. A few people are doing Vlogmas that I like following. I might save Mormon Wives. It is my guilty pleasure. So I'm gonna save it for when it's got my full attention and see what I find on YouTube. But yeah, otherwise I will catch up with you properly tomorrow. Morning from me and my porridge, which looks so good. Banana, apple, seeds, and then underneath I've got oats, flax seeds, chia seeds, cinnamon, vanilla protein powder. I'm just going to tuck into that right now because I'm hungry. I've been to the gym. It is 8:15. And yeah, I'm going to eat my porridge. I've got a call at 9:30 with a prospective client who wants to book in a strategy call. So I'm going to chat to her just for like 15 minutes, and then I'm heading out to meet a friend for a coffee at 11. And then I've got a couple of client calls back here this afternoon. So a nice day, mixture of different bits. I was going to go to a coffee shop first thing, but then with this call that's at 9:30, it's just easier for me to have it here, and then I can leave my laptop and don't have to take that with me when I see my friend. And yeah, it's Thursday. We're out for supper this evening with some friends, which will be really nice, having a chill one tomorrow evening. So I've just got, client check-ins to do this morning. There's not like, I'm kind of semi-winding down because obviously come middle of January, I'm going to be on mat leave for a couple of months. So I'm still open for strategy calls and power months kind of from now to mid-Jan. But otherwise, I'm sort of just servicing my existing clients. Which is a nice feeling, but it's a funny feeling because there's always normally like more to be planning, like what I'm going to be launching in January, or workshops, or kind of booking in meetings with corporates. But I've got quite a few people that I'm checking with come January who have all said like, get back in touch with me in Jan. And even then, some people are like, get back in touch with me in Jan. Like, I think I want to start with you in April. So I've got quite a long list of people that I'm going to be speaking to in January. So I feel like because it's the 4th of December, similarly to me, like a lot of people are sort of in that semi-holiday headspace, sort of know what they're doing. And there's still scope for plenty of sales in December. Like, I'm a big believer in that, and I've seen it in my own business, like over the years. But it's just, there's less there's less pressure from me in a nice way. I can just sort of take my foot off the pedal a little bit, do some planning ahead for January, but otherwise, service existing clients and see friends, do my watercolor painting, go to the gym. I mean, I'm not very good at not doing anything, so I haven't got to the point yet where I'm bored because I've still been pretty busy. But I'm sure, well, towards the end of the year, there's loads of social plans, so I think I'll be fine. It's probably more the beginning of next year where things are a lot quieter. But anyway, we will deal with that as and when it comes. For now, I'm going to have my porridge before it gets cold, and I'll check in with you as and when. Hello, it is later on in the day. It is 20 to 2. I'm about to head out for a walk and just thought I would check in because I'm probably going to wrap up this vlog here. There's not been a huge amount to show that's like overly exciting or interesting, but I just wanted to do a quick little vlog to catch up with you all. I had a good sort of discovery call with the lady who wanted to go ahead with a strategy session, so that's all booked in. She's paid, we've got her date locked in for the 15th of December. So I'm going to be helping her really refine her messaging and launch plan for a high ticket program that she's bringing out end of January. So she wants to be really clear going into the new year, and when she starts working again, kind of mid-January after her honeymoon that she's going on, to feel really confident in like what her messaging is, who she's targeting, how she can potentially lock in a couple of clients before January comes around with a deposit. So we're going to look at the strategy behind that. So that's really exciting. So yeah, locked that in this morning. And one of my client calls that I was meant to be having in 20 minutes, she's had to postpone because her child is unfortunately unwell. And then I've got one more later today. So I figured I would just come on here, say hi, catch you up. I'm going to go on a walk now. And then actually going to sort through lots of the baby clothes that we've been very kindly given by like family members, cousins, and my sister's brother-in-law, and then figure out what it is that we need to buy. And I'm thinking we might get some Christmas presents that are baby related, but I think there are some basics that we just need to make sure that we have. So I'm going to do that this afternoon and then heading out to meet friends. So yeah, it's a pretty grey, dull day, but it's Thursday, Friday tomorrow, looks nice and sunny in the morning. So yeah, just kind of taking the day slightly more chill than usual. I saw my friend for a coffee, which was super nice. She's expecting at a very similar time to us, so really nice to see her and just have a good old catch up and talk all things pending motherhood. But yeah, if you have any questions, you're interested in booking a strategy call, you want to follow along with my motherhood journey, then make sure you're checking out by Nicola Bethwaite Instagram, and otherwise just pop any questions down below. But I hope you enjoyed this kind of fairly chilled, fairly realistic few days of my life, and I will see you in the next video.